Okay, so hello everyone. It's my first video in a long time. I'm just going to be taking you over how to do a fuel filter. So that's this little thing right here on a 2013 X166 Mercedes Benz GL350. This is the diesel engine. So yeah, let's get started. First thing I've already done off camera was take off the engine cover. It's pretty simple. Just take off these two clips over here and then just pretty much just pull the engine cover off. The engine cover is right there. So then the second thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take off the MAF sensor plugs. So they have these little lock tabs in them. You gotta pull this lock tab with a pick usually. I already did this off camera once, but I just want to show you. So you gotta pull it with the pick like that. So I have a pick right here. You're gonna pull it like that, and then you're gonna go from the top and use your pick like this and just turn it a little bit against the body of the MAF sensor, and it should come off. Like I said, I'm probably jinxing myself. Yeah, okay, see, there you go. Alright, there we go. So then, after that, we're going to take off the actual MAF sensor. So we're pretty much going to take this off. There's one clip like that in the back that we're going to take off. And the same thing, one clip over in the front here, and one clip in the back. Now, during this service, I'll also be changing out these air filters. So, yeah, it's a good time to change out your O-rings that are in the turbocharged pipe, as well as the air filters, and any O-rings, the seals over here, and also there's a seal back here. And I'll make sure to link all the part numbers. I went to the Mercedes dealer and got a pretty good deal, but it depends on wherever you get your parts from, how the deal is going to be. Anyway, so the next step is probably going to be to take off this PCV breather right here. PCV breather right there. So you got to take off the... I think we can just pull it out actually. Once I get the MAF sensor off, then I'll do it. But the next step is going to be this hose clamp right here. We're going to have to loosen this hose clamp so that the entire MAF sensor can actually come apart. So I'm going to do that off camera, and then I will come back. Okay, so I loosened this clip over the hose clamp over here. As you can see, it's loose. You're going to want to use a 7mm socket and turn that, and it should come loose pretty easily. So next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to separate this. See how it... Oh, yeah, separate that like that. And over here as well, and I want to pull this. Here, I'll just use my right hand to pull it. See how it pulls apart easily. And then you can pull forward. So, yeah, it's a little bit tricky, especially if you're doing it for the first time. This is not my first time doing this, but this is my first time doing this since the car went in for its field measure recall. Which was not done by me, obviously. I'm not a Mercedes dealer. Or authorized repair facility for that matter. So now, slowly but surely, you're gonna want to work that apart until it comes up like this one. See, this one came up easy. This one is being a little stubborn, and there's always one side that's stubborn. It just depends on what time you're doing it, I guess. So yeah, once this comes up, you can easily just... Yeah, see, all of it just comes apart. And this was the breather that I was talking about, and we don't actually need to do anything about this. We can just leave it how it is. This is the, this oil is from the PCV. It's pretty common. Don't get alarmed or think that your turbo is going out or anything. And also, if you want to check the play in your turbo, there's going to be some backlash back and forth, but the turbo is fine. In this car at least, there's not really much play anywhere. Like, obviously every turbo has a bit of play, not too much, but there's gonna be a little bit. So now once that this map sensor is out of the way, what we're gonna want to do is we're gonna want to put it to the side, and in a minute we're gonna clean this thing out. So we're gonna put this to the side for now, and don't break it, step on it. That piece is worth over $1,000. So now the next thing we gotta do is gotta take off this turbocharged pipe right here. So pretty much we're gonna wanna see, this is my first time doing this, so the fuel filter, we're taking off this turbocharged pipe. So I'm gonna guess that we gotta take off all these plastic cover bolts to then get access to any bolts that are behind here. And then this turbocharged pipe, from what I've read at least, should just pull forward and out. But we'll see how we go about it. So yeah, that's the next step pretty much. In the older ones you didn't need to move this turbocharged pipe because this wasn't there. It was just a straight pipe, and you could just quickly do the fuel filter just like that. But unfortunately in the newer ones you can't do that. You actually do have to remove this charge pipe, which gives you a good opportunity to clean everything out. So yeah, I'm going to start taking off these bolts in the front. There should be a couple. I'm gonna guess they're around, being Mercedes, probably like 20, but probably realistically around 6-7 bolts, and then we'll go from there. So now that we're here, let's see, I took off these 2 bolts. So there's just 1 bolt here and 1 bolt here, and then there's a rubber grommet on the bottom, but it looks like the plastic might break if I pull on it a little too hard. So I'm not even gonna bother. I'm just gonna leave it loose like this. So yeah, that gives us access to this bolt right here. Focus. Yeah, that bolt right there. This is also E10. And then this Torx bolt right here. And then we're gonna also have to undo this clip right here. And then that will allow us to get this charge pipe out, from what I can see at least. So yeah, I'm gonna go undo the bolts. These were also E10s, by the way, E10 Torx, which is external Torx. So they're like that shape. This is size 10 of this style. So yeah, I'm gonna start removing this and getting this charge pipe off. Okay, so I've removed the bolts. This was T30 over here. E10 was down here. And then I also removed the radiator hose clip, which looks like this. So now, this charge pipe goes into some plastic, so you got to be very careful not to break anything. If you do, it's going to be a bad day, especially when it's a day like this, which is today. And the reason why I say that is because today is Sunday, no one's open. So, see how this is moving a little bit? I'm gonna have to figure out a way to actually get this out. So yeah, I think I might have to turn it a little bit, but no, that's not gonna work. Okay, yeah, pretty much just I'm gonna figure out how to take this off and then I'll show you guys. But yeah, so just looking at it, I've discovered something new, that if I leave this plastic box thing in place, which has to do something with boost or whatever, I honestly don't know what it is, then it's gonna crack most likely if I try to flex it. So there's a E10 bolt right there where the light is shining, yeah, right there, that star looking thing. And then there should be another one pretty much down there. I can't show it on camera, but I will show it once I get this thing out. So, yeah. Okay, so a lot of progress since that last clip. So I did end up actually taking off this plastic shield completely. Just pulled really hard upward, and it came out of this grommet. Then I pushed pretty hard downward to get the this plastic box out that I took the bolts out for. So one bolt is right here, which if the plastic box is mounted, it was gonna be, you know, back there. Then one bolt right over here, so where that is. I got that box out. Then with a little bit of jiggling and finessing, eventually the charge pipe came off. So now is the time where I can actually take off the fuel filter. So that's this here with the pipes right here. Now what I'm gonna do is the longer pipe. I'm gonna mark it with a with like green tape or something like that. I just don't want to get mixed up between this and this one and flip it up backwards, you know, like whatever, right? So I'm just gonna do that before I attempt anything else. And yeah, now is a good time probably to, you know, look over the valley of your engine. I mean, you can't see much of the valley, but you can see somewhat of where your engine may have been, you know, seeping some oil or something like that. So now's a good time to look at it. And yeah, also just a note in case I forget later, this has to come off and be replaced. I have any one of these. Okay, so here's where I'm at right now. So I'm at the fuel filter. This connector is being really stubborn, will not come off. And then also these clips over here is supposed to be single time use, but apparently you can use them again if you just squeeze them together with the pliers. So what I did was I just got it under here with a pick and popped them off real quick. And also there's gonna be diesel in these lines, so I just took some old bolts and stuffed them into the lines. Might not be the best idea, but it'll do. It's going into a filter anyway, right? So doesn't really matter. Yeah, it looks like this piece here melted on this old filter. Okay. Yeah, anyway, I'm gonna keep trying to get this connector off. It looks like it's starting to come off. You can see the yellow seal over there. And then after that, we got to take off this E10, and hopefully this fuel filter should just come right straight up. And yeah, to get these lines off, what you have to do is you have to take some pliers like this and grip behind where like the line and the fucking metal part goes in, right? And you just hold it there and twist it back and forth like that, and eventually the seal over here will break, and then you just pull it back. So yeah, you just do it gently with finesse. You don't want to, you know, just try pulling on it, because you will rip the line at that point. Well, it's not for sure, but you most likely will rip the line, so it's better to just be cautious. And there wasn't much fuel in here, but just be careful, I guess. And I capped them off. As you can see, the top of the filter is wet, which means that we did spill maybe like 20 milliliters, I'd say. But yeah, it was just droplets mainly, but to keep them away, I capped them off with some old bolts. Also, just a quick pro tip: anywhere where there's an opening to the boost section, you want to cap them off. So I'm actually going to take some rags and shove them in there, as well as into that. So I'm going to take rags and shove them all in there. First clean them out, I guess, then put the rags in. So yeah, just so that, you know, you don't have any critters crawling into your engine and stuff like that, because that's what we're trying to prevent. So yeah. Okay, so it looked like there were only one bolt, but there's actually 1, 2, 3 bolts around this thing. In that location, and that location. And also you have to remember that underneath the connector, which surprisingly came out very easily once I actually got the fuel filter upwards, you have to connect this ground probably to here, right? So just don't forget that, because it looks sort of important, honestly. That's why they have extra ground. Yeah, so now that we have this out over here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this bolt and loosen it so that we can get this bracket off, and we can then put in our new fuel filter. So my new fuel filter is right here. This is the MANN WK820/14. This is what this specific car calls for, but there's like 10 variations of this one, so you honestly just have to check with your dealership by giving them the VIN number, make sure it's all right, blah 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 blah, you know. So this looks to be an original Mercedes Benz filter, but you can see it has the MANN 820/7 on it. So even this one would have worked, but these two are the exact same. Well, they look the exact same. I hope they're the exact same. Yeah, they are the exact same. So maybe this is just an updated part. I don't know. But yeah, they are the same. So I'm going to swap these out. And yeah, this is 820/14. So it might be the updated part number. Who knows? Anyway, yeah, I am going to pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen this bracket and swap it onto here, and then tighten it on here. So I'm gonna do that now. Okay, so I wanted to make an update. I got everything put back together. It's pretty much the opposite of how I removed everything. Just one thing though, and this happened to me actually, is this boost pipe. It kind of didn't seat 100% properly in the back here. It's causing the car to run really rough. I don't know, the join right there. Yeah, it was causing the car to run really rough, so I had to take it all apart and put it back together the way it should go. Beyond that, I just gotta put this side of the MAF sensor back on. These can be really tricky. Like that side, I don't know how I got it on, but what I'm trying to do is I took out one of the bolts for the air intake filter. So I took that out. That way this can move up and down, and it'll be easier to put it in. But yeah, beyond that, it's not too hard. Yeah, pretty much everything is just the reverse of how you took it apart. Just make sure all your boost connections are seated properly, and you line up all your bolts 100% properly, because otherwise you're gonna strip something out. This is all aluminum block, so anything that goes into aluminum will strip out pretty easily. Yeah, just make sure you put this clip on, put everything back on, and you're good to go. I lost one of the bolts for here, so I had some spare bolts from when I was working at the Chrysler dealership, and I changed those to 10 millimeters instead of the E-Torx bolts that were there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not really much left to it. Just make sure when you start up the car, you turn the key to the run position and you wait for a little bit. I did that. I turned it to the run position for 10 seconds, turn it off, run position again. I did that about 4 or 5 times before I actually started up the vehicle, and it started up just fine. So yeah. Also, I just give it a couple of revs as well, just to bleed any air out, but I don't think that's really necessary. However, I just like doing that. So yeah, beyond that, that's about it. And thank you for watching. This is the OM642 engine from the 2013 GL350. So it's the newer style of the 642 engine. I think they still make them. I'm not sure. But yeah, this is the newer style of the 642. This is how you do the fuel filter on this one. The one which has the little bulge here. The one that doesn't have the bulge here, you just take off the intake over here, and then you can take the fuel filter out directly from there. Okay, well, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.